Welcome to our second part of AOps knowledge sessions. Today we'll be talking about how do you use AOps to accelerate your incident resolution with root cause analysis and contextual insights. We'll get on to the today's session. Again, welcome and thanks for attending. Agenda. So we'll follow the same structure. We will have 15-20 minutes of overview of the solution. How AOps can be used to address the MTTR. Sometimes people also called as MTTR. That is the common metric people look at. That is mean time to resolution. That is the time between when the incident is reported and when it gets resolved. And again, the way it will be structured is more of a knowledge session. That means it'll try to explain how the solution works rather than more on the product, less on the product capabilities. And we'll also try to highlight what are the key things that you need to look for when you're evaluating your AOps solutions. And we'll follow it with a demo, and then if time permits, we'll also have a Q&A session. Just a little bit about Cloud Fabrics. We are an AOps solution vendor, and what the unique approach we take is the outcomes-based approach to help with the decision making and how you use AI and ML to accelerate your decision making, whether you are in the IT ops person or ITSM person or DevOps person. So that is one of the beauty things of AOps. It's a cross-domain use cases. It can address several use cases. That is why it is gaining a lot of popularity among the IT stakeholders. So last time, as some of you must have attended the last session, so this is our how we see the AOps framework in terms of operational efficiencies, how to drive operational efficiencies. The first thing we talked about is the noise reduction. We had a session on that where you use the ML algorithms and correlation policies to reduce alert noise and identify the signals, which translates into tickets or incidents into your ITSM process. And today's session is focused on when you have those tickets in your ITSM, how effectively you can manage how quickly you can resolve it, how quickly you can get to the bottom of it, what is the root cause, and how quickly you can address these issues. And we will be talking about how AOps can help achieve these two outcomes. So one outcome, but the two subsections. So we won't get into the lot of the numbers here, but just to highlight, several research reports also mentioned, it's MTTR is very key, a very important metric for a lot of enterprises because these are incidents and sometimes some of these tickets are customer facing and revenue impacting. So and also it requires real people getting involved. That means it's a cost, it's customer satisfaction as well as revenue impacting. So the faster you can resolve these incidents or closer, it's that much valuable for any enterprise. It has both bottom line and top line impact as well as customer satisfaction, which are very important things. So based on some of our experience and also the research, there are few best practices that are required, and we will try to explain how AOps can help achieve those things. But instead of going detail, but I wanted to just highlight some of these things. Some things like whether you will be able to leverage, understand the scope quickly. What is the impact? How you need to draw a boundary on what are the impacted elements for any incident. So that will be useful to collect the data, required data for your diagnosis, pull the right team members, and also understand, if there are any similar incidents in the past where we could leverage some of the knowledge base that we have gained over the course of, handling these similar incidents in the past. So all these things are very important, and we will touch upon what are the things that you need to really look for when you're looking at a AOps solution. So this is similar to our Alert Watch. This is not really a pipeline, but it tries to highlight some of the key capabilities or modules or features that AOps solutions that brings in addressing in achieving this outcome. The first and foremost is the integration with ITSM systems, because all the tickets typically or incidents, people call it incidents or tickets because it requires some kind of action from your NOC, SOC or support engineers. lands up in your ITSM tool, whether it is ServiceNow or Jira or Service Desk. So a lot of tools share well, lot of popular tools out there. So typically either a monitoring tool reported incident or some customer reported incident will be there will be a ticket. So you need to have integration into any AIOps solution that works with your ITSM system. Need to have integration with that one. So it has to be bidirectional, and I will explain that why the bidirectional is important. But to start with, it has to be able to read the tickets from that ITSM, and once the ticket is read into the AIOps system, it need to understand what is the impact. That is where the automatic impact assessment, what is the boundary, which service it's impacting, or is it data center level? What is the scope of that impact? That is first thing is, and also the topology, how they are interrelated. So that is an important thing. Other thing is, I should be able to quickly get to RCA or CA. That means I need to be able to look at all the data, operation data that are available for all the possible impacted elements, and able to analyze that automatically and come up with the root cause info. And then the other key thing is, and we'll get into each of them in detail in the subsequent slides as well as in the demo. And the other thing is, once I am able to understand the root cause, is there a similar situation arisen in the past? And do we have any record in the past that the tool should be automatically pull and give some guidance saying that, we have seen similar incident in the past and this is how it's solved. And if it requires collaboration with multiple people, that you should be able to seamlessly do that within the tool itself. And finally, if enterprises, if they have some kind of workflows or bots or automation scripts that are available, I should be able to invoke them seamlessly. So these are some of the things. So that means, if I have to pull all the data, it also should have integration with your ITOM tools, whether it is like, SolarWinds or that kind of stuff, Splunks of the APM tools and log analytics tools or the metric database. So these are some of the core capabilities that AIOps solution need to provide, starting with integration with ITSM tools, ability to pull from different monitoring APM tools, monitoring metrics tools, as well as the log tools, and being able to provide collaboration capabilities and also integration with your RPA tools and with the asset intelligence. These are some of the key capabilities that are required, and we will get into these things individually. The first thing is, as we said, right, instead of people working from your ticketing tool, so AIOps system need to be able to pull that record from your ITSM and provide a workbench where the NOC/SOC engineer or the support engineer will be able to work on that incident with lot more richer and contextual data. So what we call as a instant workbench. So it's kind of sits on top of it, being able to read from the different queues in your ITSM and route it to the right person. So again, it has to sort of mimic what the routing policies it has. So the right tickets goes into the right team member. So it's almost mimics the existing ITSM process, but it provides a much richer interface where you have all the views and controls in one place. So what we call as an instant workbench. So again, it has to pull the tickets from your ITSM systems, whatever it is. And then once you get it, the first thing is it has to understand the scope. What is the typical boundary of this impact? Especially if I'm looking at a service level, what all components are involved in this service? Like, it could be a incident that is impacting a storage or a server, but it's both the upstream and downstream impact you need to understand and present it in a very logical way. The group all the components in a logical way, whether it belongs to a infrastructure or application or a database or a firewalls or a load balancer, depending upon the component, it has to be logically presented. So that means, if you are fortunate, if you have a good CMDB with good topology, you will be able to pull that information. If not, the AIOps solution should provide a inbuilt asset intelligence where, based on the context or the incident category, it should be able to pull the right information and present it in a way that people can easily comprehend, whether it is by surveys and the stack layer or the group of similar device types that might be impacted. So that is the second most important thing that has to happen as part of the incident analysis. And then once I understand all the impacted elements, now I should be able to look at the time of incident, or probably an hour or 2 hours before, and probably an hour or 2 hours, depending upon when the incident happened and when the engineer is looking at it. I need to be able to pull all the observation data. We call it as observation data, which means, let's say you have a database that is impacted and a web server that is impacted and a network switch that has a potential dependency on this incident. I should be able to pull all the metrics. How does my CPU on this server looks like? How does my IO the traffic flow between the switches, or if it's a switch, is there any DDoS attack? So all the relevant information and the logs, how does the logs looks like? All the information has to be pulled immediately at the time when somebody is looking at the incident. I should have all this information available in one place. And when talking to some of our customers, we heard like sometimes they take several hours to pull all this data because it's spread in different tools, right? So that is very important capability, being able to inline get all the data in one place. And once it gets that, not only being able to present all that information in one place, I want the tool to be able to tell me using some algorithms, what is the anomaly, which particular metric and which particular component or a log has seen an anomaly at the time of incident compared to an hour back or 2 hours back or 3 hours back. And you can fine tune that. You should be able to fine tune that, how long I should go before and after that for me to do a proper analysis automatically. And this is something the tool should be able to recommend and pinpoint. This we call it as a root cause inference, or sometimes people also call root cause analysis, but we'd like to call it as an inference because it's more of a guidance. It's kind of a pointer saying that this is where we have seen some significant change or anomaly based on the baseline for the last 4 hours, the short-term anomaly and also long-term impact change we have seen. So again, this is very important, and it will help enterprises reduce quite a lot of time, both from collecting all the data that reside in different sources, as well as to manually go through all these things and identify the root cause. It will help pinpoint that automatically. Once that is done, so other key thing is it should be able to mine the knowledge. Knowledge means it could be some post-mortem reports that were there existing internal developed knowledge bases or vendor knowledge bases. It could be CVE externally. So the tool should be able to plug into the different knowledge sources available or applicable for the enterprise, and it automatically gives the right context. So it pulls the right article, if it's a DB related or a CV related or a security related patch, it should be able to pull this. And also being able to tell from the similar incident what was the resolution, or what if there are any notes from the previous handling of a similar incident. It should be able to pull that and present it automatically. Again, this is very important for a complex incident where it could be involving multiple people. Having that kind of information can help accelerate the incident resolution. And then, it should, another key attribute or capability that AOps solutions provides is, after providing all this data and then doing the root cause inference, you need to be able to give some suggestions. The AOps tools will give what is the next best action that somebody has to take, the NOC support. Whether it could be it has to be escalated to a level 2 engineer. If so, who is the right person? That kind of recommendation could be one scenario. Or if it has a good confidence that it has matched a similar incident in the past and it was resolved with several people have up down, so people can also have this ranking. So if it has enough confidence, it can also suggest what resolution steps and also what kind of workflows. Again, depending upon the knowledge base and the good practices that enterprises have, people we have seen working with customers have good habit of having resolution codes maintained in their ITSM. So if they have that kind of good discipline, it will be able to give that codes, and which codes relates to some kind of tools and workflows that accelerates this resolution quite quickly. And then, if it requires, let's say you don't have, solid confidence on what the resolution, and if you need to work with different teams, because oftentimes, you still have to cross-check with the different teams, because, especially if it's a production service or a revenue impacting service, people don't want to take action without consulting. So, which means I need to pull in the right team members, able to communicate with them seamlessly. So it has to provide a single pane of view and control within the tool. The tool should have inbuilt collaboration capabilities, and also it should be able to tell what are the right team members. And even if they are using different tools, type of tools, I should be able to cross work with each of the tool members, because oftentimes we see enterprises adopting different tools like Slacks and Teams and Service Desk. Some could be as Skype. So irrespective of what tool the team uses, the NOC or support engineer should be able to communicate with them in a two-way mode. And the important thing is it also has to capture all that notes for future audit or learning purpose. And so finally, let's say, now I have debugged the issue, and now I know what kind of resolution or remediation, or even for debugging, I need to be using some tools. So having that control in the same tool is also very useful, because that way you don't have to log into different tools, because it takes time, right? The lesser time it takes to resolve the incident is better. So again, having all that integration into the tool is a key capability that you need to look for. And sometimes, let's say you don't have very rich automation tool integration. Some AOps solution also will provide some basic capabilities to develop these workflows, and being able to, with Ansible or Chef type scripts, if people have that kind of capability. AOps, some basic capability of AOps platform can be also handy. So that way you can develop some basic workflows and execute them right from the tool itself. And finally, after all these things, you should also, because ITSM is for most of the enterprises, ITSM tools is kind of a source of truth, and also the record where they keep track of all the instance life cycle. So you should be able to write back update the life cycle changes, whether it is update to the incident or closure or adding attachments to the incident. So that is where the two-way integration is handy. And when in the first slide we looked at ability to pull the instance into the workbench. Now let's say after the resolving the incident, the support engineer NOC with seamlessly being able to update without their knowledge, update the ticket information in your ITSM tools. So with that, hopefully I covered all the things as we talked about, like how it is important to have the context of the topology or the impacted assets, having the ability to have pulling all the relevant data from the operations tools, whether it is metrics or log monitoring or APM tools or any traces, and being able to use that data to have root cause inference by using anomaly detection or correlation, and then able to invoke the automation, and also leveraging the knowledge bases to find, if there is any similar incident, what is the resolution in the past. With that, we'll get into the demo to highlight how we have solved it. Again, this is the key thing is to understand the capabilities you need to look for in the AOps solution, and then we will cover how Cloud Fabrics has done it. So this is where the projects based on the routing. So this, based on your existing routing rules, you can create a different incident room for each of your NOC support engineers. So the right tickets will be routed to them, and you will have a pipeline here. What is in line, what is the one it has to look for. So all the kind of things that you need to manage your instance are available here. So we'll get into the one particular instance. So so let's say we take an application performance instance. So this is where it is pulling the ticket from your existing ITSM tool, whether it is a ServiceNow or this thing. And as we said, the first thing is understanding what is the stack. When the ticket has this URL, it will automatically need to understand what are all the possible impact. So which service, what is the web server that is supporting the service, and what database it is connected, what VM it is running on, and if there is a load balancer or a firewall, and if there's a switch and storage. I need to be able to understand all the elements and also organize them in a way that is easily understood by the NOC/SOC engineer. So what is the web service? Having all the details here is very handy. So now I know what is the potential stack that is impacted by this incident. So having all this different layers, and for each of the layer, what is the component evolved. So all these details are automatically learned either from your CMDB or in a combination of CMDB and inbuilt discovery, NetFlow data, or vCenter, depending upon the different sources available for the data. It uses all these different data sources to build this stack information. And then once the stack is understood, now the important thing is to pull all the operation data at the time of the incident. Again, the more important is to understand how the situation is for each of the impacted elements at the time of the incident, compared with an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, depending upon how long you can want it to go. So here in this case, so the filter is, I wanted to see where the anomalies, it has observed the anomalies. Here it is like, database service has seen the anomaly. But again, this is the marker where the incident happened, and it is going back an hour here. I mean, it's actually 4 hours here, or 24 hours, depending upon how far you want. It has the flexibility, and it also has an ability to update the data. For example, if you wanted to see, let's say the incident happened about half an hour back, and somebody wants to see, okay, is this situation still relevant? What if you don't have this capability? People will log into the monitoring tool separately or log into the machine directly and check the things. Rather, here you should be able to update the data, which means it goes and automatically fetches the data, the current data, and it will populate the current situation. So you will see things after this incident also. So here is all the metrics available. It could be log metrics or this thing. And I can also have the ability to mark a particular time. I can see how the situation is across the different metrics. And also this is very important for debugging, because let's say somebody who is a support engineer has seen something unusual at some point before the incident, and he wants to see how the things are, the log in a particular web service. So I should be able to mark that one and go quickly check if something unusual happened at that time. So this is very important capability that well appreciated by a lot of our customers. And also you have the ability to, if some enterprises have a good change management system, I can also see what all changes happened, whether somebody has recently updated the build, or somebody has patched or changed the configuration. I should be able to have all the details here. And knowledge base is also again capable. And the important thing is, next steps also should be able to tell, if I found any similar incidents, or if again it's found some similar incident with 100% confidence, and here are the resolution steps that were documented in that instance. Again, here this could be depending upon what that somebody has written down. It will be able to pull that information from your past similar tickets. And also sometimes you may also wanted to see other knowledge sources. Again, depending upon the context, these all can be configurable. So if there is any build notes or release notes or CVE or vendor bulletins, you will be able to see all that information here. So it should be, AOps solution should have that capabilities to plug into when different knowledge base sources, whether it is from your ITSM or it could be external sources. And other important thing I talked about is having the ability to interact with the different teams that are required to resolve this incident, whether it could be a database team or a security team or a network team or a storage team or server team. They might be using different tools, but I should be able to talk to any of that person, share the data, and get things from them right from here. So again, having this capability is very important. That way, I'll be able to have all that, and whatever I have communicated with them, I should have a track here, and use that information to update the ITSM system. Again, that's where the two-way integration would be handy. Again, what we talked about is also integration with your automation tools, whether it's diagnostic tools or the remediation tools. Again, the key thing is having contextual. You might have thousands of bots and tools, but having the ability to quickly get to what are the relevant tools based on the context of the incident, type of the incident, or the impacted elements. It's very important to have that insights here, making it simplified to provide the right diagnostic tools and the remediation tools, and ability to invoke them from here is also important. I should be able to execute the log cleanup into any of the impacted elements here is also very important, right? So that way we can, and all the attachments I should be able to share back into this thing. So again, we covered things like, all the collaboration capabilities, ability to understand what is the impacted element, pulling all the relevant metrics, logs, and APM information right into the tool, and using MLA, identify which metric or which component has seen the anomalies using anomaly detection algorithms. So, and also having ability to invoke the right workflows or remediation or diagnostic tools right here. So all these things are, at the end of the day, is to help reduce your MTTR. So you can see how each of the steps, each of the capabilities can help reduce this thing. What did we achieve it, right? Again, as we earlier we talked about, MTTR is a very important metric for a lot of enterprises. The lesser it is, the less cost effective, and also high productive and higher customer satisfaction. So if you can, it'll both improve your quality of service, both from internal and external, because you will be able to address these things quicker, much quicker than in the past, and it saves time because now you have all the information available in one place, whether it is the metrics or the automation tools, ability to collaborate with the people, everything is in one place. So it definitely improves your efficiency and increases your productivity. People have the right tools and right information at the right place, so they can take actions quickly. And with a lot of guidance, it will be able to tell what specific actions you should be taking to resolve that instance. And you can also build best practices as more and more it will start learning better and better, and it will give you better insights. So again, with that, thanks again. We will be continuing these series. Again, the next week we'll be talking about the asset intelligence. If you haven't registered, you can go and visit cloudfabrics.com's 29 minutes, and you can see the whole schedule. And also we have the team sales.ema@cloudfabrics.com, and if you have any further questions or wanted to have a detailed conversation or for a demo or for your partner or customer, so we'll be happy to get back.